Good morning, team. Thank you again for jumping on another episode of my Monday Morning Pep Talk. This week, it's episode number 269. I'm going to take you back to 2011. Um, and on this 269th episode of my Monday Morning Pep Talk, I'm bringing a fresh perspective to a story I've told before, and that is the 2011 business plan that changed everything for me. That year was a turning point, proving to me that a relationship based business model is timeless, cost effective, and it's the most predictable way to grow, not just as a real estate brokerage, but any business. It is the foundation of Take Flight, and today I want to revisit it with the wisdom I've gained since 2011. But before I jump into today's call, I want to remind you of my professional purpose, and that is to help you, the full service, full fee advisor, optimize your productivity and help you become the best version of you. Why? Because I truly believe that happy advisors sell more real estate. And I do that by teaching you how to handle the challenges and opportunities that you face every single day. I know that when you can effectively manage those situations that do arise daily in your business, you'll be way more productive and you'll live a life that reflects the best version of you. And my ask, as always, is that you listen today as if we are in my office on a one on one coaching session or on the phone call. Um, I just want you to listen from that place. I think it'll mean more to you. 2011, the year I went all in on relationships. In late 2010, as I was starting to contemplate my 2011 business plan, I read The Go Giver by Bob Berg and John D. Mann, and it resonated with me deeply. The five laws of stratospheric success validated what I had instinctively begun to implement, a pure focus on giving. Because of this book, I kept my 2011 business plan very simple. I decided to give, 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 give. And when I was done giving, I wanted to give some more. I was committed to giving more. No mention of GCI, production, or transaction goals on that business plan, just a relentless focus on adding value. I needed 25 new clients that would know me, that would like me, and that would trust me as their real estate broker. That was my business plan for 2011. 25 new clients. I put all of my chips on the table. I had no choice but to build a relationship-based business from scratch. It was my only financially viable choice as I was out of options. It was game on. At that time, the real estate industry was still clawing its way out of the Great Recession. Home values had plummeted, distressed sales dominated the market, and consumer confidence was shaky at best. The national unemployment rate hovered around 9%. 9%. And in many ways, the entire economy felt like it was stuck in quicksand. Real estate professionals were leaving the industry in droves, and those who remained had to fundamentally rethink how they generated business. 36% of all transactions in Chicago and Cook County were either a short sell or foreclosure, and we had 12 to 15 months of inventory, depending on the hyperlocal market. The old lead generation tactics, cold calling, door knocking, and direct mail, felt tone deaf in a market where homeowners were struggling to stay above water. Rather than chase deals in a market full of uncertainty, I doubled down on relationships. While many agents were waiting for the market to recover, that was their business plan. I'm just going to wait for the market to get better. I focused on helping people, answering questions, providing insights, and staying present when others disappeared. The result, my business doubled in 2011 for the second time in 3 years, and I became the number three agent at Jameson Sotheby's International Realty after essentially being unemployed just 3 years prior. The momentum created that year carried me for years. In late 2011, my CEO, Chris Fear, took notice. And in September of 2011, he asked me to share what I had learned with others. And I taught my very first class to my peers, an extension of my belief in giving. It was the very first iteration of Take Flight, September of 2011. 14 years later, I can confidently say that my 2011 business plan was spot on for that moment in time, but if I could sit down with my younger self, I'd refine it by adding what I know about systems, leverage, and scale. Giving alone is powerful, but giving using systems is unstoppable. 2011 taught me the fundamental values that define me today. That year, the seeds for Take Flight were planted. Those fundamental values include: number one, giving is the foundation, but a CRM is the structure. In 2011, I relied on basic tickler files and spreadsheets and memory to track relationships. If I had known to implement the 5 lists with better segmenting, I could have scaled even faster. With the CRM technology we have today, there is no excuse to not leverage systems to scale the power of relationships. Top of market brand placement requires consistency. Every month you don't engage your 5 lists, you lose 10% of your top of mind presence or brand placement with your with your clients. 10% every month. Number two, if you feel helpless, be helpful, but make it repeatable. I told myself in 2011 to focus on helping others instead of feeling helpless, which, trust me, I did in 2011. It was such a challenging market, and it was easy to feel helpless, unable to help many of my clients successfully exit their properties. Number three, stop thinking in terms of individual transactions and think in terms of a career. In a decade, you'll experience two booming markets, two incredibly sluggish markets, and six that are normal, quote unquote, normal. If you don't have a relationship based model, you'll ride a constant roller coaster. A well managed CRM allows your clients to become your sales team, creating predictable referrals instead of unpredictable peaks and valleys. 2011 taught me to play the long game. 2011 taught me to play the long game. What I realized that year is that a CRM or a database or tickler file or spreadsheet organizing any organization of my clients, that is what is a business. No strategy around a CRM equals a hobby. In 2011, I was taught that building a business required tracking consistent communication with my clients. With that commitment to a relationship based strategy, I felt for the first time that I ran a business, not a hobby. Number five, giving does not stop at closing. In 2011, I made an effort to start the relationship with my clients at the closing table, not pause it or end it. I implemented a post closing strategy that helped me transition my clients from an active relationship to a nurture stage. Don't give and expect a return. This is number six. Don't give and expect a return. That's bartering. True giving builds influence, but it only works if it's authentic. In 2011, I learned to give without any expectation of receiving anything in return. Every interaction with a client or another industry professional has an influence value, quote unquote, influence value attached. Don't give and expect a return. That's bartering. Number 7, dopamine drips should come from leading indicators, not lagging ones. Prior to 2011, I got my dopamine drips from closings and contracts. Today, I realize that leading indicators such as meaningful conversations, client responses, and engagement are more powerful. So meaningful conversations and meaningful moments, they are way more powerful. Things a CRM can help you track and prioritize. The more of these I put, um, the more of these items were the chips that I put on the table. I had no choice as building a relationship-based business from scratch was my only financial viable choice. Period. And I realized after that in 2011 that meaningful moments and meaningful conversations are the real currency. Meaningful moments and meaningful conversations are the real currency. So, my final thought, the modern version of giving, the concept of giving is not outdated. It's more relevant now than ever. Today's top brands are giving through free content, education, and valuable experiences before ever asking for a sell. The same applies to a relationship based real estate model. If you aren't consistently nurturing your network, delivering on promises, and staying top of mind, you'll be forced into a transactional prospecting model instead of a sustainable repeat business model. Team, this was fun for me to go down memory lane here again today. I appreciate you jumping on. I think you're starting to get the point here of my message over the last month and a half on the calls that I have written and the Monday Morning Pep Talks I have generated. We have a real opportunity in front of you with the technology, especially here at Jameson Sotheby's International Realty, that we're rolling out in the form of ReChat. It's right there in front of you. An incredible, incredible piece of equipment or, of technology. And if I would have had this back in 2011, who knows? Right. And it's right there in front of you. Um, I appreciate you jumping on today. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you again next week. Bye.